My mom got a $30,000 personal loan in my name without my knowledge. The account is from February, which is when they bought a boat. Now they've missed 4 payments and told me that they're going to let it default since the boat can't be repossessed, and they're going to call DCFS on me. I knew my mom had her eye on a pontoon boat for the last year. She and my dad retired in 2022, and while they aren't swimming in money, they weren't hurting much for it either. Or so I thought. They bought a boat in February for a little over 30,000. I didn't think a lot of it since they've always rented a pontoon boat 2 to 3 times per year and didn't appear to have any money issues. At the start of July, I began getting my ducks in a row to buy a house. When I applied for a pre-approval, I found out my credit score was barely over 600 and I had an extra $30,000 in debt I had no idea about. Even worse, it was 90 plus days late. I told the lender the account wasn't mine, and he said my identity had probably been stolen, but it was probably someone close to me, as the money would have had to go to a bank account with my name on it. I shared a bank account with my ex-fiance and asked the bank to look into it. They said the account had been closed a couple of years ago, when we broke up, and no attempts to send money to it / take money from it have been made since. I filed a dispute with the company and the credit agencies as it was obvious to me I had been hacked or my identity had been stolen. About a week ago, I got a notice from the company to my apartment saying that they were going to charge off the account if payment wasn't made. I requested more information from them and they linked me to their fraud department. They were able to tell me where the money was sent to a bank account from when I was a minor that I shared with my mom. When I called the bank, they confirmed that there was activity on the account, and the statement showed the loan coming in and almost all of the money being transferred into what looks like my mom's account at the same bank. I haven't used that bank in more than a decade. I called my mom and asked her about it, and she, after a long pause, said that's how they bought the boat. They made 1 payment on the account and realized they probably couldn't afford the monthly payments for the next 5 years. When I asked why they hadn't told me, she said it was because they figured I would say no.
Duh.
They were right, and that they had worked hard in their lives and wanted to enjoy retirement. It ended by them saying the boat couldn't be repossessed because it was a personal loan. My mom suggested declaring bankruptcy, and I told them I was going to the police. My mom
What?
said not to do that because they wouldn't take it seriously. When I told her I was doing it anyway, she hinted that she might have to call DCFS on me. My 2-year-old burned themselves on a hot pan earlier this year. Simple ER visit and was told accidents happen. He's fine. But she would have to call them regarding an unsafe home.
Oh.
I think I'm still going to go to the police because declaring bankruptcy would make it impossible to buy a house. I just needed to vent and looking for any advice.
What?
So, top comment, copying this for every identity theft situation I see on here, since it seems to happen a lot, where you know who the person is who stole your identity. This is all the information you can find to the sub and others. 1. Call the police. You're the victim of identity theft, plain and simple. Doesn't matter who did it or what your relationship is to them. They broke the law, now they have to face the consequences of their actions.
Jail.
2. Freeze your credit. You want to make sure it doesn't happen again. Take the proactive route of freezing your credit. 3. Monitor and track your credit. You need to be alerted if anyone tries opening a line of credit in your name. This gives you a way to do it for free and it shows you your credit score. I guess that was a link above. 4. Warn anyone else who might be a victim. This includes family members or anyone else whose social security number might be compromised by the thief. 5. Take the police report to the credit bureaus. Give them the report number when you dispute all the accounts. Most of the time, there will be enough for them to take the accounts off your credit. It's on the creditors themselves to prove the accounts are legitimately yours and the bureaus aren't going to get in the middle of it. A police report goes a long way in clearing up your credit. Don't take identity theft lying down, even if someone's close to you. If you let them get away with it, get ready for 5 to 10 years of bad credit, collection agencies coming after you, lawsuits, etc. Your mom 100% committed familial identity theft, and now she's trying to scare you into not reporting her. Don't let her scare you. DCFS or the same thing in other states are typically only going to take action if there is clear-cut signs of abuse. It sounds like a minor burn months ago is nothing. The ER staff is right. Accidents happen. Anyone can make an online report with DCFS on anyone for anything. It literally means nothing unless it's a legitimate report. And even then, the sad state of many of these state services means even real reports of real abuse often slip through the cracks. I would look into a restraining order if she tries it though. Don't declare bankruptcy, whatever you do. Just make the police report and give that information to the company that gave them the loan and the credit bureaus. They'll take care of the rest.
My husband is planning to go on a dinner date with a long-term ex. My husband Jack, male 36, used to date Emma, female 34, for years. They broke up because Jack didn't want to get married or have kids. Emma moved away, and about a month later, Jack met me. Emma is super tall, blonde, with blue eyes, and has a PhD. I'm petite, 110 pounds, and short. I'm a nurse, I have dark curly hair, and I'm an introvert. Last weekend, there was a fundraising gala, and Emma was there. I saw her for the first time in person. Jack introduced me, and Emma said, "Yeah, I know who she is." Jack quickly changed the topic and asked how long she was in town. She said for a week, and then they ended up chatting all night, reminiscing about old times. I decided to talk to other people. Later at bedtime, Jack mentioned that he should go out to dinner with Emma. I assumed he meant inviting her over, so I asked what kind of food she likes so I could make it. He said no, it would just be the two of them. I asked, like a date? And he replied, "No, just two friends going to dinner. Why are you so insecure?" I asked him, "Do you miss her? Do you miss being with her?" And he said, "I'm not going to lie, it felt great talking to her tonight." I got really upset and told him he can do whatever he wants, but if he goes to this dinner date, I'm done. He thinks I'm overreacting and being insecure. It's time to fight! He's an idiot. He's so very dumb.
This guy, divorce.
100% divorce. He's not sticking up for her, and he's like,
I want to go out on a date with my ex.
Oh, he wants to go on a date with her, and then he said, "There's just something about her. I love talking to her." Not gonna lie, I love talking to her tonight.
Imagine that was me.
No, you'd be done. I thought I'd post an update. He told me to sit down because we needed to talk. He said that after seeing Emma at the gala, he couldn't stop thinking about her. He decided to take Monday and Tuesday off and spend the whole day with her, while I assumed he was at work. He told me I'm a sweet woman, but he never felt that spark with me. He said it's best if we go our separate ways. I asked him if they had sex, and he didn't reply. I was so upset and asked, "Why did you marry me if you're not over her?" He said he thought I was the one, but these past 2 days made him realize there's no spark between us. I feel stupid for ignoring all the red flags over the years and wasting 6 years of my life with him.
2 days it took him to destroy his marriage of 6 years.
Am I the for barely eating any of the cake my girlfriend made for my birthday and refusing to eat anything else she bakes until she apologizes? I've been with my current girlfriend for almost 3 years and we pretty much agree about most things, except when it comes to my mother. My mother is mentally slow. I don't know what else to call her since she grew up pretty rough and was never formally diagnosed and had me at 13. Her being physically and emotionally younger made her a fun mum, but just not responsible. In any case, this is one of the main reasons my girlfriend feels uncomfortable around my mum, because she says she has no manners and can be rude, both of which can be true at times, but my mum doesn't mean to do it. It's just how she was raised and it's hard to teach her new things. The second reason is I spent a lot of money for my mum to live in an expensive facility/community so she can be independent but still have some help. She thinks it's a waste of money, especially since she wants to be able to buy a big house in the future, and I refuse to pay her medical insurance despite having the money. She's currently on a plan she can't afford, which she brings up in a lot of arguments. She's not my wife, so I don't want to commit to something like that yet, since I'm not sure how that would work if she ever decided to end the relationship, or if it increased to something I'd rather not pay. I won't lie, I love my girlfriend, but she's not my wife, therefore not a priority, and I've tried proposing twice and have been turned down each time. Anyways, I feel like I've derailed for a second, but I felt some context was important. This year, she decided to make me a cake for my birthday. I was happy because she's a great baker and even better at decorating. So I asked for a chocolate sheet cake with a canned frosting and rainbow sprinkles. She said it was fine, but kept suggesting I have something special and less cheap this year. My mum has made me my birthday cake every year since I was a child, but this year she couldn't. But I told her I was sure that's what I wanted. No presents, no people over. When I woke up the morning of my birthday, she had me eat breakfast in the living room because the dining room and kitchen were a mess. I'm not sure if I believe that now. And got me up and out of the house after lunch, telling me it still wasn't ready. And I couldn't see it because she also had a really small surprise as well. I came back an hour later as she'd asked, and when I opened the door to pretty much everyone we know and even don't know well, except my mum, her parents were there. Leap out with one of those blow things. I tried to act happy, but to be honest, I didn't want anyone there at all. If it had just been our families, maybe it would have been nice, but I was secretly annoyed. Then, when I saw the cake, it wasn't anything like what I asked for. It was 3 round lemon cream cakes, the naked fancy kind with the flowers and the berries. It looked incredible, and I could tell it must have taken ages, but it's not what I wanted. And I'm pretty neutral about lemon desserts. Everyone brought gifts, and I tried to pretend that I liked them, and I did, but in that moment, I just didn't feel like opening and reacting to gifts, so I felt like my reactions were underwhelming. Then, when it was time to cut the cake, she gave me a big piece, and I didn't even finish half of it. I wasn't in the mood. I just lied and said I was too full from eating all of her favourite foods. I'll admit, that was a bit too blunt, especially since there was company, and she was a little short with me for the rest of the party. Finally, my mum came just after everyone finished, and according to my girlfriend, she accidentally told her the wrong time. She bought me a single cupcake, just how I like it, as a gift, because she couldn't make the cake this year. I was happy and I couldn't hide it. My girlfriend noticed and gave my mum a stink eye, which is fine as long as she wasn't rude. But she then took it a step further and just outright made a joke about how the cupcake was unique, just like my mum. She still likes dresses and has 2 ponytails. And a few people even laughed. Fast forward to later, I'm eating my cupcake in my bed, hoping to end the day on a good note. I didn't complain at all outside of that one comment because I didn't want to seem too ungrateful, but then she says under her breath that of course I'd rather eat something that looks like it was made by a toddler than an actual quality. That was the last straw for me. We got into a heated argument, so I ended up sleeping on the couch on my own birthday. The next morning, I made it clear that I told everyone that I hated my party. And now everyone is calling me ungrateful, plus her family found out I don't pay her insurance. And right now, things are on and off tense and not tense between us. Am I the here?
Am I wrong for rage quitting after I lost an election? I, 28 female, have been a member of a large volunteer organization for several years. I'm one of the longest standing members. I spent hundreds of hours on various aspects of it. I've held small leadership positions in almost every area, and I have a large amount of experience being the president of another organization as well. When I first joined, things were not doing well. So I, with others, worked our asses off to improve that. And we did. In fact, we did so well with improving the atmosphere that we had a massive amount of incoming members who quickly became very close with each other, something we specifically encouraged, and have absolutely no idea how bad things used to be, or how much behind the scenes work it takes to maintain the way things are now. I ran for president in the most recent election. I ran against 5 other candidates. 4 of us had years of experience and had been prepping our campaign for months and years. One person, let's call him Alex, was extremely new, a few weeks, had 0 experience at all, decided to run at the last minute, and had a very large friend group with other new members. Alex was barely allowed to run due to how new they were, but made the cut by a handful of days. You can see where this is going. It was extremely close between me and Alex, and I lost by 1 vote. The rest of the elected officials were all new members of the same friend group, also without experience. Then it was discovered that 9 to 10 votes, specifically the vote of other people in leadership positions who worked closely with me, were not counted. This was not intentional or malicious, simply a computer error. Apparently, every single one of them voted for me. I technically won. They tried to get the election results overturned because of it, but higher-ups would not allow it because they feared it would look like favoritism. At the end of the day, I was told to keep quiet and not let anyone know about this. This brings me to my current situation. Because nobody on the new executive team has any experience, I started facing a lot of pressure to take on a lower leadership position solely to guide them and ensure our hard work doesn't go to hell. I absolutely refused. In fact, I've decided to drop all leadership roles and do absolutely nothing this year. This has led to multiple people telling me that I don't truly care about the organization and that I'll be responsible for it if it falls apart. I feel like it's a slap in the face to expect me to do what a president does without the title to show it. So, am I wrong for dropping all leadership positions and letting the new team do whatever the hell they want to do? Absolutely not. That's crazy. It's like when people expect you to do more than what you're paid to do. Like, no, I'm doing everything that's in my role. If you wanted me to do something more, you had to promote me or had given me the role when I had deserved it. So if these are the people that you want to run things, let them run things the way they want to. I don't think that they aren't overturning the results because it looked like favoritism. I think they aren't trying to overturn it because they look stupid. They look incompetent. Like, look at them. They couldn't even count the votes right the first time. And there's no reason for you to take on a lower leadership role while doing all the work. Get out of here. Who do they think you